All right, guys, we started our recording. Welcome to tonight's training. We have some new people on the line that just became a brand new coach this week. I'd love to welcome Melinda and Cindy. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, we're really excited to have them. They joined Shelly's organization, so we're really happy for Shelly to get her first two coaches in the same week. She is on fire. And Cindy is a physical therapist at the Mayo Clinic and also does a lot of CrossFit and has realized that this could be a very powerful program for her. Right, Cindy? You want to say hello and give us a 1 minute brief introduction to who you are?
Sure. Well, hello. My name's Cindy. I spell it C-Y-N-D-I in case anybody cares. Yes, I'm a physical therapist at Mayo Clinic. I've been practicing for 3.5 years now. Done quite a bit. Was really passionate working with neuro rehab and spinal cord injury pediatrics. And then a little over a year ago, I had an opportunity to move into a new position as a wellness physical therapist for a new program called the Healthy Living Program at Mayo. So I'm working in wellness. I'm super passionate about fitness. Kind of been an athlete my whole life. I've ran marathons. I played hockey. Just been super, super active. I continue to do CrossFit now. I've been doing it for about 4 years and compete in that as well. And I'm probably in the most fit shape I probably have ever been in my life right now. So excited to be seeing how this can fit into my life. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
You have lost weight using our meal replacements over the last few months too.
Yeah. Now we want to welcome Melinda. Melinda, I believe, was a client. I met with Melinda this week, and she was a client with Shelly and did tremendous on program and absolutely loved it and decided, hey, this is something that we should be able to pay forward and wants to spend more time with her family, right, Melinda? And I think you live in Illinois. Do you live in Illinois?
Yeah, I live in the Chicago area.
All right.
Where in Chicago?
Rolling Meadows.
Rolling Meadows.
Yeah,
I lived in Crystal Lake for 2 years. So.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Melinda, and I'm from the Chicago area, Rolling Meadows. And I had kind of been overweight my whole life, never really cared that much about it. And then I decided I got married and wanted to have kids. So I tried different programs and things. And then after the last kid, it was like the weight just wasn't coming off. And I, up to 3 years ago with my youngest came home, I was an art teacher. So, and then I have another business that I'm kind of hoping to transition out of once this takes flight. So I was able to work from home, and that's what I want to do is be home with my kids that are 3 and 6. And, I started in February 1st, and I'll weigh in tomorrow. I think I'm probably going to hit minus 30 pounds. So,
all right.
So, so I'm excited. Excited about this program to, like he said, to kind of pay it forward. And it's just, it's kind of where my passion is. It's like teaching and mentoring and helping people. So.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Melinda. We're really happy to have you on board. All right. So you guys will get to know each other over the course of the Zooms as we go. That way we can kind of dive into a little bit about tonight's data. I did want to ask you guys, has anybody had a chance to listen to the leadership call this week? Anybody listen to that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Vicky, you're muted if you were trying.
Sorry. That's not the one you sent us. Is it the one with, no, I think, sorry.
So that's the one that Dr. A does every Monday.
Okay, no, I didn't hear that one.
So I do highly recommend all of you, especially on the line, listen to this. If you've listened to it, you would know why. They had top leaders go over how they use our bio network of support, how they use the doctor's calls and nurses' calls, and what they do with them, how they position it with the clients, and how beneficial it has been to bring on coaches and clients and just you name it, And one of the doctors says that when his patients ask him questions that are doctor-related questions, he refers them to the doctor's call. Even though he's a doctor and could easily answer the question, he wants them to know that they don't have to be a doctor to be a coach. And It's just a really very, very powerful call on learning how to utilize the Bao network of support when you're coaching your clients, and how it's such a powerful added benefit to us all. Cool? So, very, very powerful. Okay, so you guys all got on the line here to learn about questions and how we can position things. So I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to go over a little PowerPoint that I put together just to highlight a couple of points, and then we will go into some of the main questions here. Okay. So, you guys all see this easily?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Can anybody not? Everyone's good. Okay, good. So this is really about like growing your coaching business, right? That's what this is all about. And there's 5 pillars to growing it. One is how do you get in front of people? How do you get people in the door? How do you get somebody who's interested? Once you get them interested, it's uncovering their motivation. What do they want? You know, and then showing them a solution for them. And when it says here a great nutrition coaching package, don't worry about that language. It just means that you're packaging like the habits of health with the 5-in-1 with the support, right? That's kind of our package. We have a nutrition and coaching package. And then ultimately closing the sale, getting them to say, yes, I want to do it with you. Okay, so we're going to go through. How come that is not advancing the slide? Okay, so one of the things you really want to do is have a free complimentary session, right? We will interview anyone for free to see if it's a fit. And you can even position yourself as offering a free complimentary session. And why is it free? Well, because it makes them easy. It makes it easy for people to say yes. Wouldn't you agree that people are much happier to say yes when something is free than if something costs money? You know. And then when you do this free assessment, it's basically doing what we're going to do in a little bit here, the interested script. It's finding out what their needs are, right? This is about them. This is not about us getting a sale. This is about really, truly helping somebody with their needs. After you find out what your needs are, you can find out if our program is a fit and find out, more importantly, if you want to work with them, right? How many people have you interviewed who are seasoned coaches and you really didn't want to work with some of the clients that you know, we can all agree that there are plenty of clients out there that were like, oh no, I kind of wish that I didn't have to work with this person. But, and then you offer a solution to their problems, right? Or problem, whatever they have. That is a very successful way of getting somebody motivated to say yes and helping them. So how do you get these complimentary sessions going? Well, one way is to offer free seminars, right? Like the Healthy Happy Hour, and get people together. And remember that when you're doing a Healthy Happy Hour, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's when you just invite a bunch of people over to your house to learn about our program. And you provide some healthy foods, but you don't have to cook a lot of food or make it very expensive, but you just make it fun. And one of the best things about doing the Healthy Happy Hours is not necessarily how many people show up to your house, but it gives you something to invite to, right? You invite somebody to an event, and you can gauge their level of interest, because the chances are it's about 10% or 15% of people will 50% of people might say yes, but 10% will show up. So, but you gauge their level of interest, and that gives you the ability to follow up with them for maybe a one-on-one complimentary session. So you do see how powerful they are if you really want to grow your business. It's something to invite to. Another way to do it is social media marketing, right? Facebook, Twitter, whatever accounts you use, posting the before and after. Some of you are very skilled at doing that. It's been a phenomenal way to get people to want to know more. And then what you let them know is you offer a free complimentary session, you know, and let them know, I'm not going to try to sell you on anything. We just want to see if it's a fit. A third way is to get the word out, right? We have the Getting the Word Out script, which allows you to just market yourself to people that you know, just to let them know what you do now. And a certain percentage of them would be interested. in wanting to know more. So these are ways to get to a complimentary session. Meetups. Sherry's really great at meetups and networking events. And then, calling your friends and family, letting them know what you do. That's also part of the getting the word out script. So these are ways to get a free complimentary session. So what your free session is ultimately about, it's about them. And it's about what they want, right? It's not about you presenting our program. Because remember, you don't know how you're going to present yet, because their answers to your questions gives you the mainframe of the conversation. Because if they're interested in losing weight and you're focused on how great of a coach you are, you miss the boat. If they're interested in really dissecting the nutrition because they're so picky about what they eat, and you don't know that, and you start talking about all these other things, but you don't address their core interest, you're missing the boat. You see what I mean? So it's really important to ask questions, because it's going to guide what do they need to hear for them to move forward. And when you ask questions, this is where they tell you how they want to be sold, for lack of a better analogy, how they want to be talked to, that's going to help them say yes to what you have to offer. Now, you want to know why they want it, right? This is where we get into their emotional motivation, right? Dr. A also calls it intrinsic motivation, right? Awakening intrinsic motivation. So we want to know what is driving them. What is driving them to do this? Some people, how many of you have had clients who said, I just don't want diabetes, and that's kind of where I'm headed? You guys had clients that have been that way? Yeah. And how many people have you had clients that said, I just want to get healthy and be thin. That's what I really want. So can you see how those two answers are different motivations? One of them is problem solving. I don't want diabetes. They're trying to avoid a problem. The other person is wanting to get somewhere. They want to get to a healthy weight because of other reasons, like they want to feel better, look better, and all that. That's like solution oriented. And so when you, at the end, you would say to the person who's a problem solving is, if you do this program, you will not get diabetes. You will, you know what I mean? You want to talk to them in that same way of avoiding the problems that they want. And then obviously we move them forward once we coach them. If they are trying to get, so the idea here is that you're using their words to reinforce what they want. Does that make sense? How many of you actually do that right now when you talk to people? Raise your hand. Shelly does it. Vicky, and let me move over. Quentin, you do it. Esther, what about you? Yes, no? Yes, no, you just raise hand.
No.
Okay.
Can I say something about that? Because I totally didn't at the beginning. I just talked. And
Yep.
Once I figured out that I needed to do a whole lot more asking and being quiet, it completely changed the conversations.
Did it not only change the conversation, but your outcomes?
Yes.
Did more people sign up?
Yes.
Yeah. And it makes sense why, right? Because before you were speaking what you wanted to tell them.
Right. And why I wanted to do it. And really that doesn't matter at all. What matters is why they want to do it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. So there's always a bigger people reason want to lose weight, be healthier, and have more energy. And your job is to find out what is that reason, right? If you could find that out, it becomes what I call a slam dunk. Very rarely do people say no if you present it in a way that sounds like you're speaking their language, right? And we know how many people can be helped. So here's an insider tip, and I don't know, I'm going to see how many of you are aware of this. Nobody wants coaching. Did every one of you really want coaching when you first started? How many did? Raise your hand. Wanted it so bad, coaching. Some people do. Melinda did. Shelly did. Anybody else really wanted it? Vicky, did you really want it?
No.
Yeah. Sherry, did you really want it when you first started? You were over here.
Just got together.
Some people want it, but most people don't, right? Most people really don't want to be coached because they don't want to feel like they need somebody. Everybody wants to feel like I can do this on my own, right? Like, I'm sure, Vicki, that's kind of how you felt at some level, is I can do this. And I was the same way, to be honest. I didn't want to be coached, not at all. But the second bullet here, we all want the results though, right?
Right.
Right. So your job is to share the results they will get by working with you, not how great of a coach you are and any of that stuff. You can share with them that that's the process, but more importantly, people want results. You cannot argue with results, right? And if you happen to help them get there, I don't know, for those of you who are seasoned, when people, let's say you help them for 3 months get healthy, right? And then and you didn't teach them what to say if somebody asked them, and somebody asked them, what'd you do to get healthy? What are they going to say?
Medifast.
Medifast, right? And why do they say that? Because their mindset is not how valuable we really are. However, do we know the truth? Like, so Vicki, for you, when you did this program, if I wasn't there for you to help guide you through it, would you have been able to actually complete it and do all the things that you do?
You know, I was pretty determined, but I knew that the accountability and the problem solving that I got each week were invaluable. I didn't know that going into it. In fact, if you recall, I signed up online and you were assigned to me as a coach.
Yep, lucky me. Thank you.
So,
Grace of God.
And I thought I was going to avoid having to see a person or deal with a person by doing it online. So, yeah, no, I really thought I had it figured out and was so surprised.
And then I introduced you to Zoom, and you said, "Oh no!"
No, he sees me. I put makeup on.
Well, you look beautiful. Yeah, and so this is the reality of a lot of people, you know. And as coaches, being empathetic means that you know that a lot of people are going to kind of come into this knowing that, and that allows you to realize that what people really want is results, and you want to show them that you can get the results by working with you. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the keys to closing somebody is to realize that it's not something that you're doing to them. It's something that you're doing for them. We are helping change people's lives. So this is not something that you want to think, you know, it's okay to close the sale. You do need to ask for the business at the end. We're going to get into the script now, which kind of walks through that stuff. So I'm going to stop this. And so what did you guys think of that presentation that I just did? Does that kind of give a nice framework for what we do?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm not sure if I sent everybody the new script. I've been working on it. And one sec. Hold on. Sorry. I've been working on it. I just recently got it. There's a couple of new scripts that came out that kind of make it easier to walk somebody through. Now, this call was designed to think about what are the best questions, right? That's the one thing that we need are questions to ask our clients and potential coaches, right? And so I am now going to share with you and I'll send this out via email at the end. I'll share with you the new script. And this script is not necessarily verbatim, okay? Before we used to have like paragraphs where you would read and it kind of would confuse people because they didn't, reading is, it sounds too canned. Now it's basically questions and you having a conversation, okay? I did this script with a client right before our call tonight. And I signed him up in about 30 minutes. He was done. We were off the phone in 30 minutes. And one thing to realize is that you are not going to go through this script verbatim, line by line, question by question, okay? Remember, it's a conversation flow. Not every question is appropriate every single time, okay? And the words are going to come out differently every single time. Because this is a dialogue. When me and this guy did this, honestly, I spoke about 1/3 of the time. He spoke 2/3 of the time. Okay?
Mhm.
And this is how it goes. So, it starts with, hey, I'm so excited to talk to you. I'd love to ask you some questions so I can understand what's most important to you. The first thing you want to know, where are they now? And I put here, you don't have to ask all the questions. So one question you can ask is, what is life like right now for you? Right? And then I like this question a little bit better. That was Kim Fisk's question. I like, what made you decide to make a change now? Now, remember, let's say you called somebody or this is a person that you get from Facebook who wants to know more, might not ask that question, what made you decide to make a change now, because you don't know if they have yet, right? So remember, it's appropriate. But so what is your health like right now, or your weight? Where are you experiencing the most struggle? So what I asked this guy is why did you decide to make a change now? Why are you looking to do it? And he shared with me, he's been stuck, he's in a rut. Like, they share with you amazing things, right? And where they are. What is your health like right now? Do you have any health issues going on? That's important to know. Are they have diabetes, things like that? Where are they experiencing the most struggle? That's a great question. And then, how long has this been an issue? How long have you been overweight? Great questions to find out. It gives you a framework of where they are. And I love this question. How is it? I asked this guy, he's only like 30-something years old. I asked him, how is being overweight affecting your life and your relationship and your work? And, the reason I ask is because for the most part, it wasn't affecting him dramatically, right? He's like, I can push forward. I have pretty good confidence, but I just want to be healthier. And so, but some people are really impacted by this, right? Some people can't work. Some people, such low self-esteem because of their weight. And it's really important for us to know all that stuff. What are your health goals? What is your ideal weight? How much weight would you need to lose to be there if they haven't already told you what their starting weight was in the conversation? Or if they told you that, you don't want to ask that question. When was the last time you were at that weight or your best weight? I did ask that question. I did not ask what type of things are different for you now, because I got to know that over the course of him telling me about his work and about how hard it is to prepare food and all this stuff. I did ask what's been the hardest thing about losing weight. Very important to know that. Are other people who live with healthy? Very great question. I already knew the answer to that, so I didn't ask him, but it's very important to know that, to know what type of support they might have. And then I did not ask this question, but it's a legitimate question. What's truly important to you when thinking about a nutrition program? So this is finding out where they are, right? Where are they now, right? Now, where do you want to be? So what would you like to see happen in your life? Sometimes that is answered with the goal. So the way I already asked that up here, so I said, I repeated back to him what I heard, just so he knew that I was listening, because I was taking notes on what he was saying, just to make sure we were clear. And I can't tell you how powerful that is to repeat back to somebody that they have been heard. You guys all agree with that, how powerful that is? When they repeat that back to them? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super powerful. And he told me where he wanted to be and what he wanted to experience more of, just feel better, more energy, and all that good stuff. And then very important to know, why is this so important to you? And I asked this question, if you could reach your goal of hitting 170 pounds, what would that feel like for you? What would that look like, And it's really important to really find out what is going to drive them, right? These are the emotional cues that you're getting. They're emotional motivation, right? Whatever that is right now, if it's just feel better, look better, I got a wedding coming up, I always say it's okay to work with where they are now. You can move them forward to optimal health as you coach them, but you don't have to try to switch them right out of the gate. So finding out what it would feel like for them. And then I always ask this question, how would that affect the people that you love or the people that love you? And, you never know what kind of answer you're going to get, but sometimes it's important to know, like, how would your spouse feel if you were able to achieve your health? You know, how would your parents feel, or whatever it is, especially if they've got, diabetes and things like that. And then it's really good to know, how long have you wanted this to happen, right? So you're really gathering all this upfront information from them in a nice, simple way of communicating. Now, commitment to change. On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to making this change in your life? You know, very important to know. And then they wrote here, what tells you that? So it's a good question to ask, like, why are you a 7 versus a 10? Why are you, what is the reason that you're there? You know, and you're just gathering all this information. And then I did not ask this question, do you know how to address the struggles and challenges that come up? But that's still a good question to ask. It just wasn't appropriate at my time. You just have to judge when it's appropriate, right? I'm just giving you a list of tons of great questions to gather information. So once you get that, thank you very much for sharing that information with me. It sounds like what you would like to have happen is, XYZ, your goals. And then I say, I would now like to, this says, would you like me to? But the reality is they are talking to you, so they do. So I'm just going to change this actually right here while we're doing this. I would now like to share with you the best way that I found to make that your reality. Okay? Save that document here. Okay. Then we go into the program view. So this is what Kim wrote, and I really like it. Our program is like a 3-legged stool. Each part helps support each other. And then the first part of our program is all about support. If we decide to do this program, if we decide this together, this is a fit for you, you're going to have your own health coach, me, and we're going to partner and walk through this journey together. And I'm going to guide you through this process. Would you agree that people just don't succeed long-term in isolation? Mm-hmm. And also, you also have the support of a community of people working on similar goals, right? So you can reword that any way you want. But the most important point to get in here is for them to realize that they can't do it by themselves, that they're going to do much better in a community, right? We all agree with that. The second part of the program is learning the healthy habits. And the truth is that diets don't work. I always ask this question. When you think of yourself going on a diet, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
When's it over?
Exactly. Who said that? Because I couldn't see that.
Pamela Galloway.
Pamela Galloway, yeah. So when it's over. And the important part about that question is teaching them that just saying they're going on a diet is already a failed strategy. Mm-hmm. But shifting their mindset to a healthy lifestyle. And I say the part of the program that leads you in the step-by-step and rewiring your brain and making small changes that give you long-term success. Do you want to feel like you have a way that is sustainable, that you could enjoy? Absolutely they do, right? Okay. The third part of our eating plan helps balance blood sugars. So this is where you say, I'm not sure if you're aware, but there are 2 major barriers that prevent all of us from being healthy. If we can solve these barriers, we can experience long-term health: the logistical and the psychological barrier. The first barrier is the logistical barrier. So I have a question for you. Have you heard that eating 6 small meals is a healthy way to eat? Yes. Is that something you're doing now? No, right? I didn't either. Why don't we? It's, busy, right? This is a great question. They're magical questions because we know that most people aren't doing it. This is the logistical barrier at work and why our program works so well. Now, again, remember, you can reword this in any way you want. If this is not my language either. I did not write this. So I would say it probably a little differently because I don't like to read it off here, but if you just need to read it off here, it's great. So the habit of eating 6 balanced meals a day is something you can do from day 1. In the first phase, you eat every few hours, but you only need to practice with 1 meal, and that is the lean green, which is lean protein and vegetables. For the other 5 meals, we use quick, healthy grab-and-go meals that have the same nutritional profile of a lean and green. And I always stop right there and say, let me repeat that. And then what I do personally is I say, I talk about the lean and green, and I talk about the chicken and broccoli. You guys have heard me say this before. I say that every one of our meals, no matter what you have, is like eating a mini chicken and broccoli. But you have it now in a candy bar or a shake or, a brownie or a gingerbread muffin. But your body doesn't know the difference whether you just ate chicken and broccoli or you ate that because of the nutritional profile. We use high quality protein and vegetable fiber in our foods, to help people do that. So, I always teach people that sometimes that's really important for people to understand that what's in this food. I know it was important for Cindy, and it was important for many people. It was important for me personally. That's probably why I'm passionate about saying it. This helps your body get into fat burning. And then we will slowly transition you to an eating plan for the long term and keep it simple. The most important part of using these easy meals as a tool is to quiet the cravings of your physical body so we can start focusing on the healthy mind. This is the second barrier. Creating a healthy mind is where lasting change happens. We solve this barrier by working with me, your health coach, and engaging in the Habits of Health material. Okay? The solution. How do you see this program making a difference for you? That's one way to say it. If you have this kind of support, do you think you can achieve your results? Right? Why were you drawn to me or this program? Like, let's say they saw it on Facebook or you did your campaign and they wanted to know more, or it was a referral. So it's a great question to know because you want to find out what they were thinking, right? Because if you know what they were thinking, you can reiterate back to them how this is going to help them. Right? Okay. The invitation. You've got some wonderful goals. You want to lose 30 pounds. I would love to partner with you to help you reach them. Does this sound like something you would like to try? Are you ready to do this together? If that's important to ask that question. That's the close, right? That's the close. You never leave it open. You always ask them if they're ready. If they're ready, great. I'm so excited to support you in your goals. I'm just curious. Do you have any friends and family that would be interested in doing this program with you? Because we have found that when people do this together, it helps their results and motivation. This is a great question to get referrals right out of the gate. Okay? And trust me, it will benefit them if they can find somebody to do it with them. Okay? So if you're not doing something it's going to benefit you too, obviously your business. But more importantly, when you all agree that if you have somebody doing this with you, it's better, right? So this is a way to try to get them to think about friends and family that maybe that they've struggled with weight too, that they've dieted together, and they could do it together. This is a way that can get. How many of you have ever done this before? Said this to people? Julie has. Vicky has. Has this gotten you some of their friends right out of the gate, or no?
Sooner or later.
I've just recently started, and I got one coworker of somebody's within like the first week of them starting. They watched for a week and saw them lose 7 pounds the first week, and they were hooked. So
awesome. Vicky?
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten them quite that fast, but within a month, of talking to them. It's funny, a lot of my clients want to keep it a secret at first. And they want to wait until people notice before they're going to tell anybody. And I think it's that lack of self-confidence that they're really going to stick with it because they've failed, in their words, so many other things. Yeah. And they've tried things. I mean, I can't tell you the number of people who have said, I've tried for 10 years to lose weight and I haven't lost 10 pounds. And then gotten on this program and they're down 30 pounds. And I actually have 3 women on the program right now because it was that same thing. One said that within 2 weeks, her friend signed up. Within 2 weeks, her friend signed up, and we've kind of have an epidemic now. So
awesome.
I have a lot of almost 70-year-old women signing up for the program.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Awesome. And you never know, right? But you got to ask the question because and one of the things, and the reason why it's really important to say we have found when people do this together, it helps them with results and motivation, So some people will want to do it together. Some people are going to keep it a secret, but you always plant that seed right out of the gate, right? Yeah. Great. So then you say, do you have any food allergies? And this is kind of when you want to do a mini profile sheet on them. right? You're kind of doing it with some of these questions now, but you want to make sure that you use your profile sheets that the company has, because that's how you're going to track your clients, right? If you're not, so you want to make sure that you know about their medications, because if they're on certain medications, right, there's instructions on what to do. Do you have any conditions you are taking medications for? And here it says, if you want more information on medical conditions, send an email to nutrition support. That's for you, not for the client to have to do that, right? But I always instruct them to talk to if they have any medical questions, to do the doctor's call on Wednesday nights. It's live. There's a doctor. You can ask them questions, okay? Always guide them there. Let them know how valuable that resource is for them, okay? Then I'll take things from here. We just have 2 more questions. Where would you like it shipped, and what credit card would you like to put it on? Right? Your next step is for you to call me when your program food arrives. I'll be sending out a new client welcome email while you're waiting for the program to arrive. There's also a virtual support video series. When you get the welcome email from Take Shape for Life, it will ask you to opt in to receive that. Make sure you opt in. They are awesome. And then it tells you exactly what you need: first and last name, billing, shipping, phone, email, and a credit card. Okay? We're making this super simple. If they say not yet, see, we have a backup plan. The backup plan is if they want to get back to you after they check with their spouse, their doctor, or look to see if they can afford it, set another appointment to reconnect with them, right? Don't just leave it hanging. When should we follow up, you know? If it's because they're not ready to commit, then ask them if you can occasionally follow up with them to see how they're doing. This is called your drip campaign, right? You put them on sending them a follow-up email, thanking them for their time. And if things change, you would like to partner with them to help them reach their goals and restate their goals. Again, you're just reinforcing that you have heard them, right? Attach 2 before and after pictures and stories that match the goal they have in mind, and you could find these here. Here's a link to lots of stories and video and before and afters. You can match if somebody needs to lose 30 pounds. Find somebody who lost 30 pounds in their story. If they need to lose 100, find somebody that lost 100 and match them, okay? So it's really important that they see somebody who has done what they're trying to accomplish, okay? Staying connected after the call, whether it's a yes or a no, you add them to your newsletter or your Mad Mimi newsletter or to your Facebook group, right? Stay connected with them. It also says here, how much for typical objections, like how much does it cost? My coaching, and this is important to say, my coaching is actually designed to be no cost to you. All you need is your food, and you're buying food already. It's like switching grocery stores. Each meal is a little over $2, so your food is about $12 a day. We partner with the food company, and they pay for you to have a coach. Right?
Interesting.
It's just a new way to say what we're already doing, right? And very powerful. And it's true, right? It's true. Your first order comes with some education material. I do recommend that to get them the books right out of the gate so they realize this is about the habits of health, I do recommend it. The first order is $330, gives them a month worth of food plus the habits of health, right? Very inexpensive way to get it. And you get free shipping and $90 worth of free food. Does that answer your question? Now, I also ask the question about cost after I go through this. I say, look, I ask them, how much are you currently spending on food? I do ask them that. You guys have heard me say that before, because people still think that it's $330. They sometimes still might think it's that added expense on top of what they're doing now, and they don't think they can afford it. So it's important to find out, how much are you spending right now? Because a lot of people save money when they do this program. I know I was one of them who did. So I do ask that question. It's not in here, but maybe I'll add it here. How much do I need to get started with? I get all my clients started with the month favorites. You get the best deal. You know, always try to get them a month. Let them know there's no obligation. They can send it back if they don't like it, just to try to get them a month. Do I need to eat these meals for the rest of my life? I always say it's a great question. These meals are an option. Healthy option, or option is a healthy snack. I am not less busy now that I'm healthier, and to stay healthy, I need to eat healthy every 3 hours. So I use these meals to help me with that. but you will learn how to eat healthy wherever you shop. And then I also will add in that we have a maintenance line called Optimal Health that that are higher calorie for people who are trying to maintain weight. Any other questions that you have? How about we do a quick health profile to see if you qualify physically? That's called the takeaway. And that's important because people are going to go, what do you mean if I qualify? Like, now you're letting them know that they might not actually qualify, which is true. There are people that don't qualify, right? So it's actually a good thing to do because it gets them actually more eager to want to do it. How many of you want things that you can't have? Isn't that human nature, right? And we're not saying they can't have it, but it is true that if they just had a cardiac event within the last 3 months, they can't do this. If they have active cancer, right? So there are things that will disqualify them. So it's a true question, but it's also a very powerful question. And then client profile, you guys have it in your file folders. Make many, many copies of it. And you want to know these questions right here. So I am going to stop share. I'd like for each of you guys to unmute yourself and let's have a dialogue about what you just saw and questions. Yeah, Shelly, go ahead.
Okay. 2 questions. One of them is, I know you've already told me, but I know there's new people. When someone says, you ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, and they say, I don't know, I'm a 4. What do you say?
I would ask them what makes them a 4.
And I wouldn't take on a 4. You told me before, like if someone's only a 4. Yeah, right.
So what would be a typical response? What have you heard?
I haven't had anyone say that, but I have gotten a lot of 7s.
7s are okay.
When someone says 7, it's like, well, what's it going to take to get you to a 10? But
I would never ask it like that.
But like if someone doesn't say a 7 or more, then I have said 7. I don't know, but I think there was one person that I currently have as a client that I don't think would have been a 7 because we didn't have that conversation. And I think it makes them tap into how badly do they want to do this. And if they don't have a high enough number, I'm going to say, well, I don't think you're ready to start.
Correct. But it depends on why their number is. You don't want to just judge it based on their number because I've had somebody tell me they were a 4 and I said, well, how come you're a 4? And they say, well, I've tried so many things. I just don't think this is going to work. And that's why they're a 4. So they did program and they did very well because they wanted it, but they just didn't believe that they could do it. Now, I've had somebody say they were a 4, and I said, well, why are you a 4? And they say, well, because right now I really just don't care, it's like, I know I should. I know that I'm overweight, and I know that I have diabetes, but it's like, right now I'm just kind of apathetic. I don't really care. And I won't
want to take them on because
I'll never take them on.
And they're going to not be successful.
What I'll say to them, I'll say this. Well, this is what I'll say to somebody like that. And I have said this, and it has worked. I said, well, do you want to eat healthier? Do you want me to make it easier for you to eat healthier, but maybe not try to lose weight so fast? And they go, well, that would be cool. And I said, then why don't you buy a few of these products and just snack on them? Use them as some of your replacements. Maybe don't do the 5-in-1, right? Remember, you want to brand yourself not as a 5-in-1 coach, right? You're an optimal health coach, which means you can go in whatever range. If they don't need to lose weight, we have optimal health bars that they can do to eat every 3 hours. Because even if they're skinny, it doesn't mean they're eating every 3 hours, right? So it doesn't matter where they are. You can adjust what you want to do. The goal is to help people eat better over term and utilize our foods because they work, right? They're still healthy. So I have that guy, I had him buy like $150 worth of food, and he used 2 meals a day, and he was cool with that until he was ready to try to really go full board. But I would not take them on as a weight loss client if they were a 4 because then I'm going to be frustrated because they're going to cheat. And then they're going to be like, that program didn't work. So I'll tell them, do this, and I don't know if you'll lose weight, but you'll be eating a lot healthier. Okay?
The other question I had was, right now I usually do ask people, or I tell them that typical weight loss is 8 to 10 pounds a month when we do the dream weaving. I didn't really see that in there. And like, say if they say 100 pounds, be like, can you imagine that you could be at 100 pounds within this year? Like, how does that make you feel? And then, or if it's 40 pounds, like, how would you feel if the middle of summer you're at your goal and just counting the months? Like, do you still include that? Or
we can add that back. Remember, this was like, that was all the scripts we're using, by the way, came from Kim's team, right? So I'm just copying what she did. This, and they're morphing over time to make it easier for their coaches. And this was the new version of it. And I believe they think they're dream weaving when they're asking some of those questions,
Yeah.
So I think it's real. I love dream weaving. I'm a big fan in telling people how long it's going to take them if they're perfect on the program.
If they follow. But that also leads me into a great discussion. I say that a lot. Like, if you follow, if you do this and stay in fat burning, because then they really understand how important that is.
It is. And I'm going to be honest. I give people, depending on who they are, I tell them I'm not a very, very, you have to do 5 and 1. I'm very strict. I'm not. I tell them, look, if you can be strict, this is what you can expect. If you can be compliant and do 5 and 1, I'd be so stoked for you. And many people can do it. But if you don't feel like that's something you can do and you need to do it slower, that's okay too. Doing the program, and maybe it takes, instead of getting there in 5 months to lose 50 pounds, it takes you 7 or 8 months. So what?
Right.
You're going to get there. So I let people know, but I tell them, but I really encourage you to do 5 and 1 as much as you can, because I don't want it to be slow for you. But you don't want to be so rigid in, I say, if you are perfect, this is what you'll get. If you cheat a little bit, it may take longer, but you'll get there if you cheat a little bit. If you cheat a lot, it's going to take a lot longer, and I'm just honest that way with them, to give them, their range, Now,
great.
Thank you. And what did you like about the script? Let's go with what you liked about it before you ask a question. I'm just curious to get feedback. So Shelly, will you share what you liked about it?
I love the script. I loved all those questions, and I'm going to study the heck out of them so they have them at the tip of my brain. So hitting up the right questions with the right people.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And the stool, the 3-legged stool, that's a really easy thing. I mean, a lot of times I'm not at home and on my computer when someone calls me back and we have the conversation. Like, I have it in my head, and sometimes I go home and write down the notes. I prefer to be at home, but sometimes because I'm still really trying to get clients, when I have the opportunity to have a conversation, I have it. So, and that may happen at the bus stop, talking to a random neighbor or something too. I try to set up appointments, but sometimes, I like to have the whole conversation kind of down.
And it's a flowing conversation, right? It's not.
I rarely follow any script straight by the script. That's too awkward for me. But knowing what's important and what,
The most important thing is is following the phases. Like, what's important to them? What do they want? That's the most important thing, right? Okay. Anybody else want to share what they liked about it?
Can I just say a couple things?
Yes, please.
Overall, in general, I mean, I literally just bought my coaching kit today, so totally new to this in this sense. But at the same time, I work one-on-one with people all the time, from the gym aspect as well as working with the PT. And it's always about what's in the best interest for your client, for your patient, for whatever. It's how can we help them? And it is about listening, and all those questions are open-ended questions. They're not yes or no. They're asking them to allow them to explain something that's going on with them, with their health, or how, and you have the opportunity to just find out, is this something that can help them? And just by listening to X, Y, or Z, I mean, there's just a list of a bunch of different points that really can try to help connect to some type of emotion, or, you talk about that intrinsic motivation, but there's things that can be related, that can come out of that can spur on deeper conversations. And also, they also help you really build a relationship with them. If you have relationships with them, build trust, that you want to give them the time to listen to them. Sometimes people just need people to listen, that are willing to listen. And if you give that to them, then they might just keep wanting more, because there's a lot of people in this world that are so selfish with their time and selfish with many things, that they don't give people the time to hear them out of what's going on in their life. And so you might just build trust off of that alone. I don't know. So
Yeah, I would agree. That's what I was going to say too. I think the questions totally, it's all about relationship building. And once you have a relationship with your client, they stick with it. In fact, I had one client who didn't want to lose her last 5 pounds because she thought I would not call her ever again. And isn't that awesome?
that's funny.
And I was like,
I've never heard that before. I love it.
you have to get over that.
That
and
is
almost
really
has to
funny.
call you. So, yeah, I mean, I just think the relationship is really the key to all of this. And I think questions definitely lend themselves to that. And will you send this out to us? Because the one that I got from you is an older version. And the one you just showed us is a lot cleaner. And I really love how it's formatted better.
Yeah, I'll send it out after this. I was working on it all day today trying to clean it up for this call today.
Yeah, I could tell. Thank you for that.
So it sounds like you both really liked it.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Pam?
Yes, I liked it. I like this aspect of the free complimentary session. I have not yet used that strategy, but I really like how you presented that. And I, too, am eager to get a copy of what you presented. And, you gave us a wealth of open-ended questions that helps us explore, what their why is. So thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. Yeah. Melinda, what about you? Any thoughts on what you saw?
I actually, years ago, I actually used to work at a crisis helpline, like a suicide helpline. So a lot of these open-ended questions and the reflecting back what they're saying, and like a lot of that syncing with what that training was. So it's like, it's kind of opening up my eyes to like look at it almost in that aspect of like, kind of there. And then really these people are in crisis. They're looking to get healthy. So, kind of instead of it looking at it as like a sales pitch, or like you're saying, like trying not to push them into it, more like saying what's going on with you, how can I help you? I hear you saying X, Y, Z. So that kind of really made the light bulb go on in my head about that. And then the other part I liked was about the if they do say no, like kind of not letting it go at that. Like I was talking to my son's teacher today because she's expressed interest, and and she kind of said about not until summer. I can't think about it right now, and I kind of didn't know. Like I just said, well, if you have any questions, let me know. But I'm like, it's kind of like, oh, there's probably something better I could have done to follow up with that.
That's a good question, Gary, because I do run across people that'll say, oh, I just can't even wrap my head around that right now. This happens like prior to the December holidays, when we were cranking up for January's health games. From time to time, people will just tell me, oh, I'm just so, I was curious how you handle that. I mean, I kind of tongue-in-cheek said, oh, so you have a lot on your plate? But I was like, yeah. But still, I'm not sure how to finesse that so that.
Read the script and what it says if they said not yet, which is, can I follow up with you?
Oh, yes. Okay.
That's what you do. That's all you do is you put them on a drip campaign, thank them for their time, send them before and after so they see what's real, and then ask them if you could follow up with them. That's all you can do. That's all.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I think when I see her tomorrow, when I pick up my son, is kind of say, oh, can I, follow up with you, or can I check in?
Can I send you a healthy newsletter every couple of weeks? And you just let me know when you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the very best way to do it. That way, you're still connected to them, but you're not calling them, bugging them.
Right.
And they'll let you know. Yeah.
I'm curious how many people on right now, how many of you are participating in the Healthy Games and inviting some of these clients to that? I am, but I'm realizing that can take a lot of time, and I really want to focus more on what you presented today.
Well, the Healthy Games is a great way to engage people in the habits of health and expose them to our program. So if you're not experiencing the benefit of the Healthy Games, meaning you're not bringing on clients or coaches, then you got to look at the strategy of what you're doing. But it's a strategy to help. I mean, when Vicki first did she brought in a bunch of new clients and some
Right.
new coaches. So it's a great strategy to engage people.
Mhm.
But if it's not working and it's taking too much time and you're not getting new clients and stuff, then I understand.
That's not what I'm saying. I am getting new clients from the Healthy Games. I'm just saying that my time is such that I've focused so much on the Healthy Games. I have not focused on this type of strategy, and I'm realizing I need to manage my time better. So I'm doing both and not just one.
Correct. It's all hands on deck, right? All these are just different ways to get
Right.
the same result.
So I'm thinking, some of these people will talk about, oh, I just can't think about it. Sometimes that can be a financial, behind that, and, it's been really exciting because out of my 15 people in my room, maybe three-fourths of them are just eating healthy and doing the 6 small snacks, and they're successful even without the MetaFast. But then, just like Shelley was talking about, I had one person start, and the person is like 4 feet from her at work, saw her lose 14 pounds in 2 weeks. And so, boom, she wanted to, So, the Healthy Games has been good, but I was just curious how many of you are room coaches?
Quinn uses it. Quinn, you want to
for,
bring your thing back
mine
up?
was for January and February and March, and then we are taking, both Michaela and I got a little burnt out because we were so focusing on that, and
Yeah.
numbers were getting smaller, and a lot of our clients weren't wanting to do month after month.
Mhm.
And so we took a break for April, and then we're going to push again, try to regroup a bunch more clients because we're getting new people to get them engaged for May. So I think maybe like a couple months on, a month or two off, and doing it kind of, for me, that is what's working, because I did get a bunch of new clients, especially when they offered the client incentives. That helped a lot. And then, coaching incentives are amazing too. So
Okay.
Yeah, I really liked the health. I was in it with Shelley, and it was really motivating to me to keep me like hooked into like, okay, let's do this every day. And I actually was one of the people that won a Fitbit in
Really?
in March, so that was really cool.
Awesome. Quinn, you were going to share. You want to share your?
Yeah, I go almost the opposite way. I'm trying to understand the psychology and the process of this. I like the idea of doing the 6-week. That was marvelous, and it gave us a lot of time to develop great results. When they went to the 4-week format, it was like, oh my God, do we continue to try to engage more people, or at least the core people, and bring on new people month after month? Or do we do what Shelley said, is to take 1 month at a time, take 1 month off, one month on?
Mhm.
And I'm really realizing that there's some real thought in this whole process. Say hi to Leslie.
Well, I'm coming in
Yeah,
for a second because I like the 6-week one and not the every month one.
Mhm.
well, and people can manipulate their weight so bad with the 4-week one. Like all I have to do is drink a bunch of water and get on the scale, and by next week I hit my goal.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I would always keep in touch with it because I love it. But I think to engage people, you need something more. So for me, I would do it every day, no matter what, because I love it. But to enroll new people and to have them be engaged, I think the 6-week one was a lot more enrolling.
Well,
Let me give
That's
my
a
2 cents in it real
That's
quick.
what I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I came into this conversation.
No. Everybody's all your stuff is. You know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm gonna stop this recording.
oh.
Oh,